Hey everyone, I'm Nathan. The story I'm about to tell you is about a birthday gift. One simple purchase that not only revealed all my family's secrets, but ruined my parents' relationship forever. So, my family was always quite traditional and pretty normal. My mom was a businesswoman, so she'd always leave for work early, come back late, and we barely spent time together. My dad was the one raising me. He'd make me breakfast and a lunch bag to take to school. We'd do crazy stuff together and take little trips from time to time. It was never perfect, but we were still a happy family. Until everything fell apart. I learned that everything that I knew about my life and family was a lie. This happy picture was gone in seconds. It was my 18th birthday. My dad and I decided to get these DNA kits. You know, the ones that everybody is getting so crazy about. We thought it would be cool to see our backgrounds, maybe some rich ancestors, or some long-lost great-grandmother in Europe, who knows. I was really excited to get the results, but as soon as I opened it, I was confused. That was not at all what I expected. It basically said that my dad and I only shared about 30% of our DNA. I mean, I looked just like him, the curly hair, the hazel eyes. Even my grandmother would say that I'm pretty much a younger version of him. I figured there was some kind of bug on the site, or maybe that the test was just a total ripoff and I had wasted all my birthday money on buying the stupid kit. I knew my cousin did this test, so I called her immediately. We checked both results, and it said that we were most likely brother and sister. Yeah, it had to be a scam. We ranted to each other about spending so much money on something so ridiculous. I wondered if anyone else had the same issue and went online, looking at reviews and feedback for the test, but everyone was saying that the results were accurate. I was sitting in my room trying to process it all. I mean, there was no way my dad and I could only share that much DNA. I remembered all the precious moments we spent together, how he taught me to play basketball and cheered me on in every competition. Then I heard my mom downstairs in the kitchen, and it hit me. She must have been lying to both of us. I stormed downstairs with anger boiling up in me. I didn't even sugarcoat it. Did you cheat on Dad? I've never seen her so scared. What kind of question is that? She was whispering, mumbling even. Well, answer the question. Did you cheat on Dad? Is he my father or not? You know, since my mother was a businesswoman, she never really showed emotion. But at that point, she looked ready to fall apart. Her cheeks went all red and she started to panic, stuttering out a response. Why are you asking me this? I told her about the DNA tests, the results, everything. For a moment there, I thought, maybe I'm crazy? Maybe it's just a misunderstanding? But then Mom started to cry. She buried her face in her hands and fell to the floor, sobbing. She started begging me, don't tell your dad, please, please, just don't tell your dad. My hands started shaking as I realized what had just happened. The truth had come out, but I wasn't ready to handle it. Reality hit me like a ton of bricks. I glared at my mother before taking off to my bedroom, kicking every piece of furniture I could find. I was sitting in my room, furious. I heard my dad come home, and I could hear him asking my mother what was wrong, but she didn't say a single word. He came into my room asking me what the hell happened, wondering why Mom was crying on the kitchen floor. I told him the truth. I couldn't lie to him. The test told me that you're not my dad. I felt heartbroken. The look on my dad's face. I had never seen anyone look so in pain. He went silent, nodded, and left the room without saying a word. For a second, I didn't hear anything, and I thought that maybe this wouldn't change anything, that we would work through it. Boy, was I wrong. He went downstairs and then the riot started. There was just pure anger in the kitchen, and I felt guilt hit me then. If I had just bought a damn game or a bike or something with that money, all I wanted to do was go to sleep and act like none of it happened, but then I heard someone else come into the house. I immediately recognized the voice, my uncle, Uncle Dave, my cousin's dad. And then I heard my dad let out what sounded like a growl. but I couldn't believe what happened next. These two peaceful and kind men were fighting. Why would my dad and uncle fight? I sat up slowly in my bed. My heart started beating fast. It felt like it was going to jump right through my chest. My dad and I sharing so little DNA. My cousin and I having results that said we were brother and sister. My dad fighting with his brother. Uncle Dave wasn't really my uncle. He was my dad. I sat near the door, trying to hear everything. My mom told some crazy story that Uncle Dave forced himself on her, that she never wanted him. Of course, Uncle Dave told the opposite. The fight lasted for a few minutes. Even my grandparents came over. And then it finally came to an end. The whole house was silent for a few seconds. I hoped that they made up or worked something out, but then I heard my father storming out. I made my way downstairs, not bothering to even talk to my crying mother. She was sobbing again, but I couldn't bring myself to comfort her. I called my dad, wondering where the hell he had gone. I was desperate to see him. He told me he was at the hospital. Grandma had a heart attack. The shock of the afternoon had sent her into a horrible state, and her heart couldn't handle it. For a second there, I thought that I'm going to lose all my family. It was terrifying. I ran to the hospital to see her and my dad. Thank God she was doing okay. We sat down and talked, heart to heart, father to son. Because even if he wasn't my dad by blood, he still raised me. He was still the man who brought me up and took care of me and made me the person I was. None of this changes our relationship, my dad said. None of it. You're still my boy, and I'm still your dad, and nothing will change that. We hugged. With tears running down my face, I said that I don't care what the results say. He's still my father. It was an emotional moment. Then we talked about the fight, and my dad said that he almost knocked out Uncle Dave. We both had a good laugh. I was still crushed and confused about everything that happened, but I was glad that I didn't lose him too. Everything is different now. We rarely talk to my mother. After everything, we're not sure who to believe. We ended up staying at my grandparents' house. Uncle Dave and his wife split up, and my cousin and I are still dealing with the fact that we're actually siblings. It was awkward at first, and her heart broke when she found out, but we're dealing with it. She's strong, and so am I, and so is my dad. And yes, I'm calling him my dad. Because no matter what some stupid results say, nothing is going to change the fact that it was him who raised me, who took care of me and helped me with everything and anything, who loved me. And I still love him. Nothing will ever change that. Some relationships are strong enough to overcome anything.